The feds are going to investigate Antifa. This is a huge breakthrough for Trump. Dan Bongino is going to make the announcement on Twitter later today. Later in this episode, I'll show you. And if you stick around to the very end, you'll see me on OAN Network. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Don't forget to subscribe. You're going to click down below and you hit subscribe. And then you're one of us. One of us. Welcome. Let's check in with Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Antifa has been allowed to flourish in this country for far too many years. The Department of Justice needs to investigate that organization, investigate those that fund it, and they need to disband it and prosecute. This is a group that is focused on anarchy and has consistently attacked the government and attacked law enforcement. So I think that's something extremely serious, and they should be very aggressive in pursuing it. Everyone loves safety. Everyone loves when crime is reduced. And this isn't an argument among basically the common sense 80% of Americans. So it's only controversial with 20% of the radical left that love lawlessness, love open borders, and want to continue to degrade our American way of life, really.
Just to explain, Antifa are an anarchist group that are trying today to defend illegals and prevent them from being removed or sent back by ICE, okay? Keep them from being arrested. Back in the day, they've taken on every other issue on the left. So they're just kind of this army of anarchists for hire by George Soros. So they'll go protest at a rainbow rally in Los Angeles. They'll go after ICE troops. They'll go after whatever they're being hired to go after. So that's why she specifically is tying them to the ICE troops, but they're about to get nailed as a terrorist organization. So first up, this is exclusive footage caught of them moving supplies. So just before Tommy Boy just left to go home, he caught Antifa receiving carloads of stuff and taking it into storage to shed light next to the new Portland ICE. This was yesterday. Okay, so let's watch this. So this is
because the secretary was here, and now look, they got pallets full of shit. Pallets.
Sorry for the language.
Shit.
Yup, all the shit that rapid response slept, dumbass.
Pallets of shit. Rapid response, you need to come back and re-sweep them. Let's go see where they take it. Let's go see where they take it.
They take it to the parking lot. And they're all still in black. They're still dressed like Power Ranger ninjas. Look at them. Those are Antifa. They have masks on, full black, but they're carrying a giant pallet of water, supplies, maybe weapons for all we know. And they go into a storage area and a warehouse in Portland. Isn't the FBI? Dan Bongino.
They're literally going inside of here.
Yeah, get in there.
They're literally going inside.
It looks like that looks like a Costco. Okay. Here's Andy No on that same video here. He says Portland Antifa tactics revealed in order to hide riot supplies and potentially weapons from Portland police during sweeps of their illegal encampment outside of ICE.gov. Antifa have rented a nearby storage space to stash their supplies. They caught them transporting supplies to their secret base inside. So this is just, we're just exposing them, helping Dan Bongino. Go get him, buddy. Here's Nick Sorter, the guy that got attacked by Portland police that were defending Antifa. Here's Nick Sorter. The FBI has launched a full investigation into Antifa and spent the weekend calling journalists who've been victims of Antifa violence. I received a call from the FBI on Sunday morning and confirmed others did as well. The Trump administration will take down this terrorist network. Next up, this is Amuse. Antifa in Portland, just a block away from the ICE facility. Antifa has an encampment where they receive supplies, food, water, medical supplies, masks, and costumes. Who's paying for this? This kind of ties that previous pallet video to this encampment over his shoulder here.
Antifa, the protesters here, have had a shipment dropped off in a U-Haul right here. They're saying it's all the stuff that's been taken away from rapid response and from people since they've been out here. So there's a whole U-Haul full of stuff that's been getting dropped off right now of all of the equipment from the past few months of their protests. You have all this stuff that's getting dropped off right here. You have all the inflatables as well
Look at their costumes.
that the
They even
people
have
have been
animal
protesting in.
costumes there.
A little strange. They have a U-Haul shipment full of all the stuff that's apparently been taken away. So stuff's being coming in. There's still protesters out right now. It's like 4 p.m. right now, I believe. And the protesters are starting to show up here to the ICE facility in Portland. I'm here in Portland right now.
Okay, let's go to the next one. That's on the ground reporters. Here's Dan Bongino at the FBI. Breaking, the FBI has officially launched a full investigation into Antifa. I voted for this. Take it down, that terrorist network, keep it going. So now it's official. This is a government stated, I'll show you later in a Trump post at the very end on what he did. Now I want to show you, I was a guest on One American News Network yesterday. Look, there's my face. Look at that old washed up artist. One American News Network, OANN. If Letitia James is not convicted, then mortgage fraud must not exist. Animator and creator of Earthworm Jim and host of Doug in Exile, Doug TenNapel explains to Riley Lewis 760. That's at Riley Lewis was the host, and they're kind enough to invite me on as a guest. Letitia James, 100% committed mortgage fraud. She lied to the state, the IRS, and the insurance company. TenNapel explains James is guilty as sin on The Real Story at OAN. And you can watch this show live too. So I'm just going to play this. I'm going to do a reaction video to myself.
But Doug, it brings me to you. What do you think of this whole situation? And really, what is the takeaway for Americans right now?
I think Sam nailed it on that last point, that she lied across four different prongs, to the IRS, to the state, to the insurance company. Every time that she lied was to her own financial benefit. That's what mortgage fraud is. And so real quick, I'm going to interrupt myself because I wanted to make another point. If you make a mistake, it might benefit you or it might harm you, okay? If you make two mistakes in a row, both of them, one might benefit you, one might harm you. They both might benefit you or they both might harm you. Then the odds start getting ridiculous when you make three mistakes. One might benefit, one might harm, one might benefit, all three might harm. The chances of all three benefiting you is getting pretty suspicious looking at that point. By the time you get to four mistakes and all four financially benefit you, it doesn't look like a mistake. That's all I'm saying. All of Letitia James's mistakes across four different prongs just so happen to benefit her. That's my point there. It is. And then her defense is, well, I was mistaken. And I want to cheat on my taxes and say I was mistaken. I want to all of us are going to commit the same thing Letitia James does. And if she doesn't go to prison or get fined, then all of us ought to be held by that same standard. In other words, mortgage fraud doesn't exist. So the take home to me is we're going to decide right now, do we have a two-tier justice system or do we simply hold Letitia James to the same standard that she clearly articulated against Trump that she's twice as guilty of? So that's me on The Real Story with Riley Lewis, OAN. They broadcast out of San Diego. And that's my second guest appearance as a political commentator. So I'm kind of happy that you guys help. And I like helping to promote them too. Here's Trump. This is a post of him at his desk, but this just goes to an overview by G3. Here are 5 things I accomplished this week. Because remember, Elon Musk would ask his employees what they did this week. And so Trump writes 5. Number 1, I brokered peace between Israel and Hamas. Number 2, many Schumer shutdown firings. Number 3, crushed my physical. He got a medical physical and did great on it. They said that he was 15 years younger than his physical age. Designated Antifa a terrorist organization, which is the theme of this show, that they are now an American official terrorist organization, not a single Republican, MAGA conservative among Antifa. So that's a victory if we can absolutely crush Antifa, get them called out, arrested, investigated. Some should do prison time. Made G poop his pants. P.S. We miss you at the White House, President Trump. So the good news is the universe is healing. And specifically, I think Antifa, because they're so, their coordination is going to get broken up. They're still on the front end of this investigation and that they're just now declared a domestic terrorist group. Suddenly your FBI and the army can go up against them. You know, they don't have to be on foreign soil. So you can expand the government's ability to deal with them if they're a terrorist group against America. Biggest thing is their funding, those pallets of supplies. We have to find out who's funding them. And we know the Democrat piggy bank that's probably funding them. Places like Act Blue, tied to every Democrat campaign like Hillary, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and yes, George Soros, and before the son, Alex Soros, fully weaponizes and takes over that organization, we have to dry up their funding. I believe that's the goal, and that's a good goal, because if you want to stop Antifa, you have to dry up the funding. It doesn't do any good to just go after some guy in an inflatable frog suit and an inflatable dinosaur suit and get that one blue-haired guy. You cut off the funding and the energy to that organization, and then they're done. So that's the number one job of Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and Donald Trump. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Will they dry up Antifa? This is like a modern day KKK. You know, they wear their hoods, they're in black instead of white, but at some point, the KKK was dried up largely by our government, so that it was all just completely shamed. Do you believe that's where Antifa is going to be? Let's say, will you take a guess in a year? Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'm Doug in Exile.